Eamon O'Carroll, as always, you've had a chance to review and reflect on the recent game with Doncaster. Have your initial thoughts changed, or are they still the same after when we last spoke after the game on Sunday?
Yeah, still very similar. Obviously, I'm happy. The result is what mattered. We always look at the performance, and I was kind of glad that we had a game that didn't go all our own way, and we had to find a way to win and work extremely hard to do so. We knew that was going to be the case with Doncaster. We just made it a lot more difficult than what it probably needed to be. Like I said, the lads' connection and the willingness to work hard for each other. Unfortunately, we just left it for 65 minutes, but really pleased to see us come through the other side.
Is it fair to say it was an indifferent performance with a slow start, strong finish? And what does the side learn from one of those types of games?
Well, it probably just reinforces what they can do. We just need to do it for longer periods of time, and there's that element of probably inconsistency in terms of our performances and team selection as well, which hopefully we're past now, so we get to look forward. But yeah, it's every game there's lessons. We've had a really good detailed look at that game, and what that looks for us moving forward. Now we've got 5 more games to go. We know we did some really good things, and we know that we're going to have to do some things better, certainly in terms of keeping hold of the ball.
You mentioned after the game that the game management can be a lot better. Is that a focus that you've been putting into training this week?
Yeah, we always do. We always look at it, but when you come out of them games, certainly where we've been the last month, you feel like there's a lot that we want to work on, and you've got very limited time to do that. So, and it's not always looking at the areas of improvement; it's the key areas in which we're doing really well. We want to make sure that we keep looking at that during our practice as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of things for us to be looking at, but we try and split it 50-50. Obviously, some of the things that we need to be better at, clearly there's a fair few bits in there that are important for us, but the players are fully aware. But I want to make sure that we're always reinforcing the areas in which we feel that we're good, but we can still be better.
You rightly highlighted and praised the defence, just 4 tries conceded now in the last 3 games. That's a pretty high bar which has been set.
Yeah, well, we're obviously doing a little bit too much at the minute, and I feel that throughout the year, that's one area we've probably been consistent for large parts. Our defence, certainly our goal line, and we certainly went away from it. I think before that period there, we were certainly conceding far too many tries. So I'm really pleased that we've started to get that back intact, and we need to continue that. It's going to be an important part for us. Obviously, I'd like us to be doing less, and that's down to us, but we're a very defensive-minded team, and we want to be good in that area, and I feel like we kind of got back to our best, closest to what we were to lose away in Wakefield at home.
Just finally on that Doncaster game, it's clear that the players have shown some mental toughness and resilience, turning up for each other certainly, to come back in that second half. Is that something you can harness moving forward with the playoffs just around the corner?
Yeah, we have to. I think we've had a number of games this season where we've kind of had to do that. It's the next phase for us is doing it when we're not under as much pressure. I think we really excelled when we went down a man and dug in for each other. I think it was 9 sets in total that we had on our goal line. There was a couple in between that where we had the ball but we'd make errors. So we found ourselves back on our goal line. So that's although there's a negative to that, it's a huge positive as well. And that's when I want to just keep driving with the team about them turning up for each other. And when you look at it, we could pull it to bits technically. It weren't great technically, but they had the effort and that attention to detail just to keep turning up for each other and covering each other.
We've got a rare situation this week where we're doing the press conference after the 21-man squad has come out. No Jared Samet this week, Eamon?
No, we have to be smart with Jazz. He was clearly struggling in that game with a bit of an injury. It's nothing too serious, but he's gone for a large part of the season, last couple of months where he's not really played, and then we've thrown him into it, taking into account as well. It's a short turnaround, and we've got Gasky back as well. It's just good to try and freshen up the squad. Lee
Gaskell obviously is back for his first game since the home game against Doncaster. How's Lee looking?
Yeah, great. Really happy to have him back. He, even in practice the other night, it's just good to see him running around, and he certainly buys into what we're trying to do. So he's going to be a welcomed addition.
Dan Smith also back after a similar lengthy layoff.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Smig. He's had it tough this year. you know, the people probably don't see what he's put himself through and you know, just how he's handled that. You know, certainly early on he struggled, and he won't mind me saying that because he really wants to play. He's desperate. You know, it's his life, rugby. He's fully invested in the club, and he wants to be a big part of what we're trying to do. But he's in a great spot now, Smiggy. He's trained really well. He's been in the mix for probably about 3 weeks now. I've been really impressed with just how he's helped the team prepare for games, and you know, had that element of patience as well, even though he's really desperate to play. So he'll get his opportunity this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him back. I think he was in some real good form just before he got injured. You know, I thought he was one of our better players, and certainly added another dimension to our attack.
Just on Dan Smith, obviously, when I spoke to Dan after the game on Sunday at Doncaster, he felt he might have come back a little bit too soon against Whitehaven, and then obviously he's had another lengthy setback. How cautious have you been with Dan, you know, knowing that it is the right time now to throw him back out there? Yeah,
well, like I said, he's probably had 3 weeks now with the team, done everything with the team, and then done extra on top of that. You know, we wanted to make sure that, you know, he'd had a good block there of training and doing everything that he needed to do, because you know, the last couple of times he's gone into games, he's felt all right, and then it's got him the week after in training. So we wanted to make sure that we give it enough time, and you know, that time's now.
A surprising name in the 21-man squad, Eben Skur. Is he in contention?
Yeah, he'll be in contention again. Probably similar to Smig. We have to be smart with him. I had a lengthy phone call with him yesterday. He's desperate to get back, and I just like that sense from the team now. They know we're getting to that business end of the season, and for the first time this year we're getting bodies back, so there's competition for places, which is really good.
George Tafua is suspended for this game. That clearly is going to present an opportunity to either Jack Smith or Romain Franco.
Yeah. Look, I can't give too much away there, but you know, two great lads. I've been really impressed with Jack since he's come in. A real level-headed, you know, real professional. Even though he knows, you know, sometimes he's not going to play, he still wants to be around the group, and I just think he's a credit to his club there at Leeds for how he's approaching this. You know, he's glad for the experience, and if he plays, he'll do a great job like he did for us against Barrow. And again, likewise with Romain, you know, he's come from Wakefield, been fully invested and been patient, and probably deserves an opportunity as well. So I've got a decision to make on that tonight. Still got a couple of question marks on some of the lads in the squad, so we'll see how we fare tonight.
And just finally on Sam Hallis, he missed the last two, been on compassionate leave. Are you happy that he is ready now to return?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. Sam probably could have played a couple of weeks ago. You know, I probably made the decision that he didn't play last week for him and his family. But I feel like we've missed him. We spoke before about some of our goal line defence. You know, I think we took a step back in terms of our collision area and yardage, and Sammy normally drives that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him go.
And this isn't just players coming back from injury. When you throw in a Lee Gaskell, Dan Smith, Sam Hallis, you know, there's that leadership, that experience boost, a very crucial time of Bradford's season.
Yeah, the key for us is keeping them on the field, and then the key for them is to make sure that they're performing, because as I referenced before, we're at a stage now where hopefully there's going to be a headache for me, and we've not had that this year, so it keeps everyone on their toes. They're clearly very important players for us, and we have missed them throughout stages of the season, but lads who have come in and, you know, normally have done a good job for him as well. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing how this next month pans out.
Sounds like there's going to be a few changes this week, Eamon, to add to an already high number of changes. 5 games to go. Are you looking to try and keep the changes moving forward to a minimum now?
Yeah, I think it's important we get a level of consistency. You know, that might sound like a little bit of a contradiction in terms of what the squad looks like this week. We have to be smart with lads like Bruno. You know, he's desperate to play, but I made the decision not to put him in the squad. Certainly over this next month now, we need to find some rhythm in terms of our selection and how people are performing as well.
Short turnaround this week after a tough, demanding game against Doncaster. No concerns over fitness fatigue?
No, not at all. We've been smart with him this week. Not changed too much. Probably not been as intense early in the week, but we'll probably be a little bit more intense in terms of what our session looks tonight. But looking forward to playing Friday night at Odsal. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's something different for us. The lads will get a good weekend off going into our next 4 games.
It is Dewsbury Rams at Odsal tomorrow evening. What are you expecting from them?
They'll be competitive. obviously they'll be disappointed with the last performance. Looking at their squad, they've got a couple of key individuals back in there. You know, Callum Turner, Reece Butterworth, who I rate really highly. So they're a dangerous team, especially for us. I won't shy away from the fact that we've slipped up a few times this year and we can't afford to do that on Friday night. So yeah, it's about us ultimately, and we'll respect the opposition and know that they'll cause us some issues if we're not on.
Unfortunately, they were relegated at the weekend just gone. We've just won this season, Eamon. Do they arrive tomorrow evening at Odsall with that pressure off? Does that make them slightly more dangerous?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does. But again, ultimately it's down to us. If we're coughing up the ball as much as what we have done, we'll be under the pump. I think this week's a really good week to simplify things even more so than what we normally do, and respect the effort areas of our game and respect the ball and defend tough. And that's what I'm looking for from the team. I think if we do that, the rest will look after itself.
No secret when looking at the table just how important points for and against could be come the final round 26. Do you see this game tomorrow as one to strengthen Bradford's position in that area?
Yeah, but it won't be a focus for us. If we go out talking about that, we might overplay. I think this game's big for us in terms of what we want to look like going into the next phase of the season, and we're treating every game now like it's knockout rugby, and I think that's the right thing to do. So, more defensively, I'll look at that and make sure that if we're conceding points, it's because the team has to work extremely hard for it, not that the fact that we're coming out of our system or being ill-disciplined.
A win tomorrow would move Bradford up to second in the table. Has that been discussed at all this week?
No, the players will be aware of it, but I think it can change. That can change by Sunday, can't it? So all we can focus on is what we're doing, and we need to keep winning games, and if we do, we'll be where we deserve to be come the end of the year.
And is that the message to the side this week? Once again, focus on yourselves, and even if it is a simplified game plan, do the basics right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need a game like I said before. I think we needed a game where we were really under the pump, and we got that against Doncaster. And the bit that got us out of trouble was going back to valuing the ball. Broke it up. The last 20 minutes of our game completed at our highest. So, just reinforcing that with the players. They know they're a smart group. And then we got back to challenging them and really engaging the line and being powerful. And I feel that's when we're at our best.
I've asked a similar question like this before, Eamon, but this game in supporters' minds probably when you look at the side, they're going to be looking at the side tomorrow and the performance under the microscope probably a little bit more than other games, obviously knowing that Bradford have been in these positions before against sides that they should beat, but ultimately have slipped up.
Yeah, and they're within the right to think that, aren't they? Because that's ultimately what we've done, and that's down to us again. So it's up to us. There's only one thing that'll change that, and people's perception of us as a team and as a group, and that's down to us. So, like I said, we're fully aware of that. We don't like it, but we're going to use that as fuel, and ultimately we probably deserve to have that perception about us as well. So it's down to us to change that.
And just finally from me, how much of a luxury or a positive or a welcome headache is it going to be? Certainly moving forward with George Tafua back next week. You've already mentioned Lee Gaskell, Dan Smith, Eben Skur, Sam Hallis back, that you're now in a position where, if a player hasn't performed to the standard, that there is going to be that strong competition for places.
Yeah, no, it's good. The key is making sure that we are in that situation, and making sure that we're not losing people through injury or, injuries happen, but certainly ill discipline and keeping the group together. I'll speak to the group tonight about, there might be some conversations with players that are playing pretty well, but, might have just got one area in the game, not, probably not executing that as well as what another person is, and that's why they're in. So I like that. It's the first time we've had it this year, and we'll see what we're about as a group. So I think it's a strong position for us to be in. But if we've learned anything this year, we know how quickly that can change as well.